All right, everybody. Hey, welcome to Note Night in America, the No Time to Invest episode. Hopefully, you all are having a great week, great weekend. Glad to have you all here this Monday night. Honored that you guys join me week in, week out. And hopefully, you've enjoyed a little bit of my humor, a little bit of my marketing theatrics out there. If you can figure out, I am a big James Bond fan, dating back to a young whippersnapper, and it would be one of the great nights when we'd have a new Bond movie to watch with a family. Dad was a big fan of his books growing up, and absolutely just enjoyed the Bond movies out there. And so if you've had a chance to go see No Time to Die, do so. It's a really great movie. It's a longer movie, but really a great story to it, and took a lot out of it for tonight's episode for you. But before we get to the fun and games and the theatrics a little bit, if you are here for the first time on Note Night in America, or watching for the first time, hey, welcome to the NNA. We've been doing these calls going back over 11 years now, just about every Monday night, and just honored that you guys join us with a different topic, different focus each Monday night. Some on marketing, some on finding deals, some on raising capital, some on vendors. Sometimes we have different guest speakers, but yours truly is usually the main speaker 75% of the time. And so honored to have you all here on the Note Night. So yes, these calls are recorded. The red button there that we are recording is live. We do it live across YouTube, across Zoom. We also replay it the following day across all our media channels as well, including new LinkedIn Live now, which we're excited about. But we do have the Note Night in America podcast. It should have just about everyone from the last month uploaded to the podcasting, anywhere you listen to podcasts here in the next couple of days. And you can always catch the replays if you got to bug out, sooner than we wrap up. Always go to WeCloseNotes.tv or our YouTube channel on We Close Notes and look for the Note Night in America playlist on there. But make sure you always check out WeCloseNotes.com for more information on all our trainings. And then also, one of the greatest things, if you're watching this live, recording, whatever, you can register once for all the events throughout the year. You can go to NoteNightinAmerica.com, register once, and you've registered for every Note Night that we host. Doesn't mean you have to attend, but you're registered for the full year. We do start that over on a yearly basis at the beginning of the year. So it's hard to believe it's October already. Hard to believe. Thank goodness we have the Bond movie out, I like to say, after over a year of pushing it out and pushing out to COVID. It was well worth the wait. But once again, if you are registered and can't make it, don't worry about it. You will get a replay email sent to you the following day. And we usually live stream it at noon on Tuesdays. But anyway, let's get to the fun and games here tonight. No Time to Invest. And I laughed as Steph and I were sitting in the movie and the previews came out for it. And I'm like, oh, like a little kid in a candy store. I'm like, oh, that's a great marketing idea. No time to die. No time to invest. Because I hear that from so many people. You probably heard me say that before. Oh, I'm too busy. I have too much going on. Oh, my job is too busy. I don't have enough time in the day to invest. I don't have time in the day to market. And that's sad because we all have the same amount of days of the week and hours a day to get things done. It's just that a lot of us make use of our time. And you'll see a lot of analogies made throughout this presentation. You'll be out of here before an hour goes by, roughly, unless you get questions. But if you think about it, I thought that was the most stunning crushed velvet jacket I've ever seen. Now, I've got a black crushed velvet jacket, and I look pretty pimping it. But this pink one that Daniel Craig wore to the Cannes release, or actually to the release of the movie, that's the red carpet of the Cannes Music Festival, or the Cannes Movie Festival there in Cannes. I've been there a couple times. But you have to think to yourself, it's the last one. He really didn't want to do the last one, but he still did it, and he really showed up to it. And you have to start to think very similarities in what you guys and we are all doing as investors and entrepreneurs. Did he think he would get to 5? Did he start with the end in mind? And he was Daniel Craig, I think, is a great actor alone. Has always been a great actor. He's got a great comedy side to what he does. But did he, thinking about the end in mind, did he think he would make it to 5 movies? I think he only wanted to do 4. He was injured badly, broke his ankle in one of them that delayed the film. But us as entrepreneurs, we think back to our legacy and where we're going to be at in 20 years or 10 years when we start off. Maybe many of us don't have the idea of what type of impact that we're going to have. And you have to think, what will your end look like? Those of you guys, gals that are on here tonight, Marcia, Gerald, Gary, Harold, Jim, Joanna, John, Kay, Kevin, Laura, Linda, I could go on and on, all you guys. Good to see you. RJ, Roberta, Tom. What does your end look like? Now, the question I always ask, and this is a tough question, you have to ask yourself this one: did you build something to be proud of, or did you build others their dreams? Did you work hard to build something that you can be proud of at the end of the day? Because nobody dies at the end. This is, I wish I had put in extra overtime, or I wish I would have started that. I wish I would have worked more for that company. I wish I would have stayed late that 7 p.m. at night. It's always, when we think about what we want to accomplish, we want to be something that we are proud of, a legacy, something that helps not only our family, but potentially helps others. And that's the thing you have to look at. What does your end look like? Is it something you're building something? It's not near what it's going to be in the future as what it is. I mean, it will be much greater in the future than what it is today. What legacy, what impact will you have on the world and your life and those around you? And that's what I love about the note business, is that we really do have an impact not only on our life, but we also do impact others as well in keeping people in their houses and avoiding foreclosures we can, working on loan modifications, life-changing decisions, life-altering consequences when we take action. Do we foreclose? Do we keep somebody in the house? Do we try to do a modification, cash for keys? There's a whole variety of different things that we do, and it can really truly be a win-win-win across the board. But it all comes down to having some sort of direction. If you have no kind of end in mind on what to shoot for, you're really going to fail. You can't be it's not the Wild West. You can't be a secret agent and succeed in the business. You've got to get the word out on what you're doing and sharing what you're doing and how you're really building something. I think that's what people identify with, is that legacy. What are you doing to build something greater, something that you and the people around you can be proud of? And that's the big question. Are you doing anything? Are you not doing anything? Are you already retired before you even get started? Okay. So that's one of the great things, I think, is when you think about the lead up to this, there's been so much media event, and I'm glad they didn't release it on, streaming services, a movie theater type of event to go to. And I plan on probably seeing it 3 or 4 more times before it's out of the movies. But, you think about how the movie started off with, and I think many people, we feel the same way. We're kind of, Bond is retired. It's been 5 years since he left M16, MI6, and he's just kind of going through the going through the motions. Now, don't get me wrong, he's in the Caribbean, he's diving every day on his boat, he's harvesting fish from the sea, but is it really something that is his best life? Is what that idea of retirement really what people think of? Is it something that you feel like you're just going through the motions? We've all known people that worked for years, had some sort of not destiny, but goal to accomplish. And the minute they left their job and retired and sat in front of the TV, they died. The minute they stopped having something to impact them, they died. They just were going through the motions. And you have to start thinking about that, especially it's been such a traumatic 2 years for the most part, with COVID and layoffs and things like that. And many people, we're not going through our best life. We're not living our best life. We're at home. We're not doing the things we want to do. We think we are, but a lot of times you feel like it's the same thing day in, day out. Now, there is some greatness to that, repetition of things. But if you're not doing something that you want to be doing, and you're stuck in a job or stuck doing something you dislike, we've never seen an opportunity like what we have now with a Great Resignation. So many people leaving their job to go out on their own, to take control of their own destiny. And that's what I really liked about the film is, hey, he's got this amazing retirement. He's really doing what most people would dream of, but he needs that drive. He needs HMS. He needs M. He needs Q. He needs those people to help him get through and actually living his best life. Now, we all have a why, and you have to think about it. And this backstory of Bond, obviously leaving the Secret Service, MI6, and getting married and going off, and then the travesty that happened there. But I'm not going to give any movie killers away. You have to go see it. But he had a why. He had a different why. It was basically, hey, I'm going to spend time with this new love of my life. I want to experience life. It kind of started earlier in the Casino Royale with Vesper. he started to rethink what he had been taught. And he realized he wasn't on the right path of what he wanted to accomplish, and he changed it. And that's the question that you have to ask yourself. And what I am doing today, if it's a day in, day out, is it going to help me accomplish my why? Is this helping me with my why? Whether it's me retiring and doing something I want, me put my kids through school, retiring my spouse, retiring my parents, taking care of family, leaving a legacy. Are you on the right path for what you want to accomplish? Because so many people are unfulfilled, they're unhappy, and they never get to where they want to be. And it's nobody's fault except their own. Are you on the right path? And if you want to do some big things, you have to take steps to do that. You have to shake up your life a little bit. Maybe you need to leave your job. Maybe you need to start doing something different in your spare time, because that's one of the most important things you can think about is, what is your why? And are you on the right path to give the why really what you want to give it? Your family, your whatever, your legacy. Is that, are you there? And I know we talked about no time to invest, because I use as kind of a contradictory. Everybody's got enough time to invest. Everybody's got enough time to invest. It all depends on where you're at and how you make the most of that time. Now, I know that many of us in life feel like we're in this crowded room, and you are not alone. There are plenty of good people and bad people out there. There are plenty of people out there. You are not alone. A lot of people feel like this. Well, I'm all by myself. I'm the only person that's doing this, or I don't have any support. And you have to realize you are not alone. Yes, you might be in the spotlight, and that's okay. That's a good thing. And there are good and bad actors out there. There are great vendors, there's great sellers, there's bad vendors, bad servicers, good service. There are good and bad actors out there, and no matter what you invest in. What you have to realize, you have to go out and find like-minded investors to help you on your journey. You have to go find the like-minded individuals out there that want to stop Spectre, that want to do the same things or something similar to what you're trying to do. And you can't be a secret agent, can't be a 007 license to kill and be secret where nobody knows your name. You've got to get out there networking. Sometimes you've got to go to hostile environments that may be just hostile in your brain. There's the scene in the movie, he walks in and all of Spectre's people he's surrounded. He's one of the few people there that's not a part of Spectre. It's a great scene. You got to go see it. Very hostile room, but it wasn't hostile because some things changed and he became not just Bond. He's been Bond time, but it was himself, and things happened that led to big changes taking place. He found some local people. He connected with like-minded people to help him on his journey to get things rocking and rolling. And to do that, sometimes you got to reach out. Some people are there to help you. Some people aren't. What I love about the note industry is there's a lot of great people there that are looking to do the same things. They're looking to buy notes. They're looking to partner up. It's really good if you can find an accountability partner. That's one of the things that we see people struggling with, is they go out there and they're doing things on their own and trying to do it all on their own. And sometimes they need to reach out. Sometimes they've got to reach out to people that are doing the same thing. And a great accountability partner is somebody who can share resources, goals, and your interests with. You don't have to necessarily have the exact same goal, but somebody can be an accountability partner. Mastermind groups are a great facet of accountability. People getting together and hold themselves accountable every month, every quarter, every 6 months. And I think a lot of people, when you get out of your JOB, you've had that accountability partner being your boss, whoever, somebody or your company or whatever it is, and you leave corporate America. Now you're like, oh, I'm not accountable to anybody except myself. Oh my God, I'm going to sleep in a little bit later. I'm going to hang out a little bit later. I'm going to drink a little bit more at 3:00 versus making those extra sales calls or making those phone calls to the banks or doing a little bit of research on stuff. And I think it's one of the biggest things. If you're struggling to find success, it's probably because you don't have somebody to reach out to on a regular basis to hold you accountable. Whether it's a weekly thing, a monthly call, you got to look at finding an accountability partner who can help you hold your feet to the fire, but also be there to support you when you're down. Support you when you're down. Then you can also support them when they're down. And that's a great yin-yang thing. And when you can find that, oh my gosh, it's a beautiful thing. And I like to say my accountability partner is Stephanie over here, because when she has a good day, it helps me when I'm having a bad day. And when I'm having a good day and she's having a bad day, it helps kind of bring everybody back up. And that's one of the most critical things, because you're going to have days that are up and days that are down. You just need to surround yourself and be able to find somebody you can be accountable to, because let's face it, we will flake on ourselves. We will leave that person in the mirror, give them the short of the stick every time, because we'll lie to ourselves and say, oh, I didn't have time. But you need to find somebody else, because we will be much more effective and get more things done when we're accountable to somebody else besides ourselves or our families. I mean, outside that, you're going to be accountable. You're going to show up at 7 a.m. in the morning, go to the gym with somebody you need to be accountable to, especially if it's your trainer you're paying or somebody like that. And sometimes you just need that aspect. But many people, well, I'll just try to do it myself. Well, that's not necessarily a recipe for success. That's a recipe for killing your business before you ever get rock and roll. Okay. Now, besides an accountability partner, maybe the excuse a lot of people use is like, oh, all these things that you're sharing, all these tools, software, social media, I'm no good at that stuff. I'm good with a calculator and a pen and pencil. Give me an HP Hewlett Packard BB2 for the financial calculator and an Excel. I can do that, but all this other stuff is not worth it. And it's time. And when people tell me this, oh, I'm too old to do that, or I'm not very good at that. I'm like, you're not very good at it because that's good. That's where you're at. Maybe it's time you might want to find someone different from you, maybe younger or more familiar with your weaknesses. Focus on your strengths, outsource your weaknesses. And they gave a sneak peek of a new potential 007 in the movie. And I think she would be great. I think it'd be great to have a female Bond and see how that works in today's world, whether she's white or black or Hispanic or whatever she might be. I think it might be great to have a couple movies with that. But many people struggle out there with their weaknesses, and they don't take the time to go learn it, and that's fine. But you don't have to go learn it, but you can delegate it. There are plenty of companies. We have Riva Global, one of our vendors. There's Baldwin Advisory Group. There's a whole variety of different vendors in the note space to help you out. There's social media and marketing people that can help automate the stuff for you a lot cheaper than you can do to figure it out. And so a lot of people screw up on that, is they, I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. And I'm like, well, if you're not going to do the things that you need to do in today's market, you might as well retire. You might as well not go do anything. Might as well give up before you ever get off the porch. And, I always like to say you can partner with local experts to help you with your deals all the time. And I can't, the new agent, the new 007 was the previous slide. With this one, she was in the field 3 weeks training and kicking ass and taking names. There's that iconic move where this lady is literally kicking guys' asses in this, nightgown. And it was just a great scene, a lot of chemistry with her and Bond, stuff like that. And she's brand new. And she's like, oh, 3 weeks of training. Okay, let's go. Let's do this. Shall we have a drink? Let's take a shot. Let's celebrate kicking ass and taking names. You have to realize, ladies and gentlemen, it's not all on you. As we mentioned before, it may make sense for you to hire a delegate out there, but maybe you need to partner with somebody local. Maybe you need to find somebody, a realtor who can pull some comps for you, or somebody who can help you at finding IRA investors. That it can be a win-win. You're both marketing, doing something. Or maybe you're paying to have it done and they're doing the legwork, or vice versa. You don't have to do it all yourself. You can kick ass and take names together. And we're not saying, oh, you can be a part of my business. No, there's a lot of people that partner up all the time. We had, in the past, we've had a couple students, Henry, I can think of one, Henry, and oh my God, guy from Surf City Investments. Anyway, a couple guys that would partner up. They lived a couple miles apart. They would get together once a week and divide up tapes that they each got, and they would do due diligence on them, split divide and conquer the due diligence, and they would co-bid on deals. Oh, I want this one for my portfolio. Okay, I want this one for my portfolio. But they would divide and conquer. And that's one of the beautiful things in today's world, is there's a lot of opportunity for you to divide and conquer. You're just not opening your mouth. You're going in and I can't do this all myself, so you're giving up. Don't do that. Realize there are so many other people out there that want to take advantage of what's going on in the market. They just don't know where to begin. And if you know where you're wanting to go and know what to do, hey, I need somebody to pull some comps, or I need somebody to drive by, or I need somebody who can help me out with this and this. You just really have to reach out to local experts and people, and literally they can help save you. That's one of the things. I don't jump on a plane. Somebody asked me the other day, do you fly to everything? I'm like, no, I don't fly to everything. I get on the phone and I'll pay realtors to go out and take a look at things for me. I'll have them do due diligence for me. Or I'll jump on and talk to somebody who's been in that city, a student of mine or investor of mine. Hey, can you drive by these properties for me to take a look at? You don't have to do it all by yourself, ladies and gentlemen. If you try to do it, you're going to be outgunned and outmanned really fast. All right. Now, I know doing something different can feel very, very scary. But the only way we grow as entrepreneurs and people is you have to embrace getting out of your comfort zone. If you're in your comfort zone, you're in your house or your neighborhood, you never leave, you never get out and talk to anybody, you're not going to grow. You're actually going to shrink. You have to get out of your comfort zone. You got to get out, go talk to people, go hang out in different places, go back and network. And I know many people are still scared of going out and just talking to people or high-fiving, getting hugs. I mean, or walking through the grocery store. But that's a lot about what entrepreneurship is. It's literally like jumping out of a plane with no parachute. You're jumping out of a plane trying to fly a glider that you've never flown before. And that was one of the great lines, both 007s getting out of this plane, going into this island, and with this new piece of technology, this cool folding plane, and Bond's in the back, and he's like, "So, have you ever flown one of these?" And she's like, "Nope." And boom, they're going. They're figuring it out. You have to kind of have that mentality. Hey, we'll figure this out as we go. They often say entrepreneurs, what we do is we jump out of a plane and build a parachute when we're hang gliding. You don't have to be that extreme, but you have to realize the only way you're going to get where you want to be is by doing the things that you haven't done so far. The only way that you're going to get where you want to go is by doing something you haven't done yet. Now, the things that we're talking about in the note business and real estate stuff, like these are things that are not going to kill you. Oh my God, you got to talk to people. Oh my God, you got to jump on LinkedIn a little bit. Oh my God, you got to go to meetup groups. That's not anything difficult. These are all things, no matter you're in the note business, the fix and flip business, the wholesaling business. These are all simple things that you all need to do to build your long-term success, to build your legacy. Who knows what's going to happen in the market? Who knows what's going to happen in the swamp? Are they going to pass some stupid law that does away with notes? Are they going to have extreme licensing? Are we going to see short-term capital gains go, or long-term capital gains go? It's all short. Who knows what's going to happen in the government? But you got to take advantage of what's in front of you. And a lot of times, hey, you got to do something. You got to jump out of that plane right now to make things happen for you. And sometimes you jump out with a parachute, but that's okay. You'll figure it out as you go a lot of times. But here's the thing. I had a conversation this morning with somebody. He was like, well, what about my boss? I don't want to put anything online. I don't put anything on LinkedIn about what I'm doing in real estate because I'm scared of my boss. He's going to chew my ass. He's going to fire me. He's going to take me off active service. And here's a couple of things. I sat there and listened to him talk about it. I was like, okay, your boss is not very friendly. I mean, he could be a good person or she could be a good person. I said, but is your boss doing something? Is the company you're working for, are they helping you prepare for the future? He goes, what do you mean by that? I said, well, do you have insurance, 401k? Do you have those benefits that people talk about? He goes, well, yeah, I have a 401k. I'm like, okay, how much do they max? No, they don't match. I'm like, oh, so they don't match in a that's kind of rare. I said, and what kind of raise did you get of yourself this year? Did you get when he goes, oh, I only got a 1% raise. I'm like, so here you are building, showing up 40 hours a week or more. And he was more like 65 hours a week, working for a company that could lay him off. There's layoffs all the time. They're only doing a little bit of help. They only value him basically at 1% better each year. I was like, aren't you worth more than that, than the 1% increase? Aren't you of more value than what somebody else thinks of you, and how companies are meant to not give you raises unless they get in a bind. It was very funny. One time I worked for a bank here in town, Bank One, Chase, and Capital One came into the market, and Capital One was going all around hiring up all these good bankers. They were doing only secret shops and opening accounts at the bank, but the management Capital One was trying to steal away the bankers. And what they found out is what the base salary was, and they would offer a couple grand more in base salary. So they had all these people leaving JP Morgan Chase, and this is right after annual reviews. And I was real pissed off. I get a phone call from Capital One district manager, and they offer me a job for a few grand more than I was made on salary there. I'm like, oh, I appreciate that. Well, I went directly to my direct district manager. And I said, listen, I know that you're got people here leaving. I just got offered a job across the street for more money each month, each year. Great. And they looked at each other and like, okay. I go, we'll match it. And I go, isn't it sad that it took somebody else to see the value for you to pay me that value. Now, I only worked there for another year before I left and went off on my own. But the point is, many of us are settling for what a company or what our boss thinks we're worth. And many of you are worth a whole lot more, obviously. All of you are worth more than what you're being paid for your salary. Otherwise, but we do sometimes swap hours for time. You got to pay the bills. You got to pay to keep the power and lights on. I get that. But when I had this conversation with this guy, he's like, you make a lot of sense. I said, don't be afraid to post on LinkedIn. Does your boss have a LinkedIn profile? Do your colleagues have LinkedIn profile? He goes, no, we don't really do anything on there. I'm like, well, then don't worry about it. Go find the managers or go find the people above you that you're worried about seeing what you're doing and just go block them. Go hide them. Go on there and just say, hey, I'm also a real estate investor. If anybody gives you any crap, like, listen, I'm trying to make money on the side in real estate to pay for my retirement that you guys aren't matching. And that's a powerful thing. I'm still going to put my 40 hours a week in here. I'm still committed to this job or career that I'm doing. But what I do on my side time, that's my business. That's none of your business. Okay. If I want to do that, I can do that. All right. And go from there. All right. Now, one of the things that people struggle with is oh my gosh, I'm creating new things, right? I'm not figuring this all out. And they haven't found an accountability partner. Well, we all need our own cue. We all need our own quartermaster to help you out with it. And you have to realize, ladies and gentlemen, it's not like it was 10 years ago. There are so many great tools and gadgets that help you get more done in less time now. It's never been an easier time to be a part-time investor and see full-time income from that, or be a part-time investor with full-time activities while you're still working Monday through Friday or whatever your schedule is, okay? And there's a ton of experts out there. You can just go to YouTube or Google. There are a ton of experts out there to help you use and implement those tools effectively. How to break down due diligence, or how do I pull values, or how do I separate a tape down and cut it down? How do I do all these different things? Or how do I upload a YouTube video? Or how do I upload a spreadsheet? How do I use Note Pros to scrub? You all have your own cue. It just matters whether you're communicating with what you're looking for and what you're needing to get out there. Most of you are like, oh my gosh, what? I got an exploding pen. Click, click, click. Or I got a watch here. What do I do? Oh, that turns off the bombs. Or it's got a 75, 75 yard long wire to it that'll hold my body where I can swing across there. It's got, that's the one thing that we've always liked as kids growing up and things was all the crazy tools that Bond had. The belt, the tension line, or, the shoe with a knife that came out of it at the end, or even the jetpack, that Sean Connery took before it. It's with technology evolving so much these days, so fast, and there's so many different things out there. There's so many great tools. You just got to spend a little time out, have somebody help you out, walk you through it. Maybe pay them to coach you through one or two things, and you can get rocking, show you the high points, and get off and rocking. As long as you're using that tool, you'll learn it more. Now, it might not be a BMW Z3 with a rocket launchers out of the headlights or an ejector seat, but that's okay. There are still a lot of great tools out there to help speed your time up and allow you to automate things and get things done. Okay. Now, while you're sitting there probably thinking, I love the fact when Bond came back into being Bond there on his first mission out there in Cuba, he was recruited by, Felix to go in and find this one Russian doctor with this disease thing that was spread as it was. You could see him light up and get excited about it. It was that drive was back. That fire in his eyes was back. And we all have that drive. I think everybody in here that's on this wouldn't be here on a Monday night. You'd be watching Monday Night Football or doing something else. We all have that drive to achieve something great. You just have to get back in the game or start back in the game. You got to get off the bench. If you've had a hiccup, you've had a financial difficulty or a financial hurdle, a divorce, job loss, moving, loved one, bankruptcy, whatever it is, a deal goes south. I get it. Those things happen. They can put a hurdle. But I'm talking to more and more people on a daily basis about, I used to do this 8 years ago and I want to get back into it. I want to do this I was a note investor 10 years ago. I'm like, great, just do A, B, and C to get started with. Okay, great, I'll do that. What do I do next? Well, don't worry about Z, worry about A, B, C. Little things get the momentum back. We'll get those juices flowing. Little victories will get you rocking and rolling and get you back in the game. But you have to take the action. You've got to do the things to get things rocking and rolling. And with these little victories, it will build confidence, and you'll get rocking and rolling just like Bond did on that for you. Now, of course, Bond had a great mentor throughout it, obviously, with M. And I think the new M, obviously, is not bad. But if you think back how the first couple movies with Daniel Craig, Judi Dench played, Madame Judi Dench played his mentor on it. And you saw the flashback with the two previous M's in the paintings throughout the movies. And, they gave a nod to her. And I think she was such a strong character throughout the past couple movies. She was such a mentor to Bond, from Casino Royale to, Spectre and Skyfall and, Quantum Solace. Just an amazing mentor. And look, what I have found is that mentors will help guide you down the path and help you avoid the unknowns. They'll help avoid you making the biggest mistake. You may be down one path, thinking one thing, and not have any experience in what you're trying to do or where you're going. And a mentor will pull you back. I have been very blessed to have some amazing mentors who've helped me avoid making mistakes. And they've helped me get further faster. And that's how mentors should be. They shouldn't be, they're not out for themselves. They're out there to help make you a better investor or a better Bond, a better Note Assassin, or a better secret agent. And that's one of the biggest things I could say about my mentors, the Roland Frasers, the John Roblettos, the Bob Leonettis, the Mark Victor Hansons, the Robert Kiyosaki's, the Greg Reeves, the Sharon Lecters. Those mentors helped me avoid making mistakes. I got to where I wanted to get to a whole lot faster when I was coachable, and I'd listen to their counsel. I don't listen to other people's advice. I don't listen to people complain or bitch and moan when they're not in a spot where I want to be. If they're in a low spot or not where I want to be, I don't even listen to them. It's just a waste of my energy, my good positive momentum, to listen to people who aren't where I want to be. I want to find those folks that have been there, who've closed deals, who've raised millions, that can help me get to that point of where I want to achieve greatness and success. And that's one of the things I've always loved about the different M's throughout the movie. And you see the transition taking place in the previous movie, and more in this place with the new M really being a trusted advisor out there. But of course, you got to get dirty. You got to roll up your sleeves and still get dirty in time. There are times that you can't outsource everything. You actually have to do it to begin with. You've got to get dirty. And you may have some things blow up in your face. You may have something that happens like, I didn't see that from left field. That wasn't in the class. But you will learn more from actually taking the action versus anything else. And this is the thing that always befuddles me, is especially during our 3-day workshops, we get on there and literally we'll list off like 6 to 12 different websites that people can go to. Say, look, you can start looking at making offers on Notes now. You can go to this website and break down the due diligence. You can go to this website and look at an individual asset and start going through that. That's rolling up your sleeves. Like, okay, I'm going to pull the information off that website. I'm going to start doing some due diligence on these. I'm going to start working through this, trying to figure this out and see if it's a good fit. And a lot of people are scared of that. Many people, I hate to say this, are educated idiots. They're the book learner. I want to take every class so I'm knowledgeable in everything. Well, that doesn't mean you're going to be successful at anything. A jack of all trades is a master of none. And you will always learn more from pulling the trigger. Oh, there we go. On a deal, your first deal, than anything you've ever learned from a workshop or a YouTube video or ebook or whatever like that. You have to roll up your sleeves and get dirty the first couple of times, because you got to understand the processes. You got to understand what's going on, and then work with your partners and your vendors to help things get. But that's also why it's so great to have accountability partners, mentors. They will help you take the action. You are not on a tightrope. Okay, you have that safety net beneath you to avoid making mistakes. And that's one of the things I always find interesting for those that don't take action. And this is across all real estate. It's about an 85 to 90% non-action rate. Non-action. You only have about 10% of people that take action. We're very proud of our one-on-one coaching. It's a 97% success rate with people taking action. There's a few that have come in and just disappeared, scared to death. I can't help that. But for the most part, people are taking action, closing deals, making things happen, because we've taken the confusion out of it and helped them roll up their sleeves and dive right in with them. Said, listen, here's what you need to look for in this one. Right, let's do this together. And that's an important thing up there. And you have to realize there is no perfect deal. I had a student one time who signed up for my coaching, and he was, I'm looking for the perfect deal. And we found this amazing deal. It was in Lehigh Acres, Florida. It was a good looking 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. We were picking it up at 50 grand. It was worth about 100. I'm like, this is going to go to foreclosure in 90 days. And he's like, oh, no, it's not perfect. I mean, what do you mean it's not perfect? It's perfect because it's a deal that you're getting done. Okay. And you will build more, not only more confidence in yourself, but it'll also build confidence in your network, because you can now say, hey, this is the deal that I did. I pulled the trigger on. I made the money on this deal. And he's like, it's not perfect. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. And I said, you know what? If you're not going to do this deal and you're not going to be coachable and apply this, and you're worried about something else, then I don't need you as a student. Because if you're not going to be coachable, then I don't want you around. Literally refunded him his money back. I said, best of luck to you. And he was just like, what? And I'm like, look, this is a great deal. There is no perfect deal. There are always gonna be a little snags. I want it 5 grand less. And like, well, they're not going to sell it at 5 grand less because they got enough people that want to buy it at that number. Well, I'm just, and most investors, they will do that. They will look for that perfect deal. If it doesn't become perfect through their ROI calculators, even though they're only making indicative offers, initial offers, they will shoot themselves in the foot because, oh, this doesn't make sense. The ROI is too low. Like, you have to look at the full picture. And sometimes you just got to jump on and use what is around you as a tool. Hey, let's make some offers and figure this out. Let's make some offers and figure these out. Let's make a mass offering on these and see where we come in bid-wise. If you spend all the time on the front end trying to break down every deal, make sure you cover everything, you're not only going to run out of time, but those deals will be pulled out from underneath of you. And you will have wasted time and energy now and be more upset about yourself versus making an offer. See if it gets approved, then diving in deeper and take advantage of what's around it. But you have to realize sometimes you just got to jump in, grab what's available, grab what you're looking at, start making some offers and get the ball rolling. If you keep waiting for a deal in Austin, Texas, or waiting for a deal in your backyard, or the right exact 3-bedroom, 2-bath, single family home built after 1990, whatever your specific deals are, you may be waiting around for a while. And you see that with a lot of fix and flippers. They keep waiting for REOs to come down the pipeline or foreclosures, and they're not coming down the pipeline as fast as they like. So they just sit there and die. Their businesses are dwindling up because they're not taking advantage of the market. They're not taking advantage of the opportunities that are around you, and you have to do that. I mean, look, there's enemies out there. We've all got demons. We've all got villains, and I think some of the best villains you can think about are great in the different Bond movies, from Dr. No to the Man with a Golden Gun to Spectre to everybody. There's a lot of great villains out there, but what you have to realize, ladies and gentlemen, your biggest enemies, they're out there. They're around you every day, and they are haunting you. They will try to kill you. They will try to pull you back into the abyss. They will try to infect you with negativity and sickness, because they're just like that. There are enough people, I have to say it, out there with a dark hole for a soul, and there's nothing that you could do to make them happy. We've all had loved ones or family members or friends or partners who have that negative, a dark side inside of them. That's not, you just have to avoid those. But the biggest enemies that you will face, the first thing is procrastination, not taking action. And that's one of the number one keys when I see people who come through a 3-day workshop or a 1-day workshop, or they're doing an intending thing. Those that procrastinate are the ones that never get anything done, because when you start procrastinating on your why, your dreams, and so I'll do it later. I'll just do it later. Don't procrastinate. Do it now. If it takes you 3 steps right now to do it, you can get it done in 30 minutes. Get it done now versus putting it off. Procrastination is the number one killer of dreams. I'll wait till next year. I'll wait till the first of the year. I'll wait till New Year's, my New Year's resolutions. Well, you didn't do your New Year's resolutions this year. Why not? Why wait another year to do it? Do it now. Okay. Distractions, trying to do too much. I see this religiously in real estate. And that's why people, especially that are working full time, they get frustrated in real estate, because they're trying to implement 5 or 6 or 10 different things. And they're not having success in any of them because they're too busy barely planting these things. They're not given time to water. If they were to take, you've heard of the Pareto principle, where 80% of your profits comes from 20% of your activities. Well, if you were to take 80% of your marketing and get rid of, if you're trying to do 4 or 5 things, and focus on one thing and put 5 times the amount of energy into one thing versus 5 things with only 20% of the motion, you would have a much larger success rate and be a lot happier, because Saying no to other things gets rid of the distractions and help you focus. And some of us, we have distractions in our family. Oh, I'm traveling all the time, or I'm going playing baseball, or I'm going bowling, or I'm, whatever it might be. Hey, it's good to have fun, but if you're not getting the things that you want to get done, you have to say no for just a short period of time to those distractions so you can do something bigger and better. And it comes from a lack of focus too. People, we get bogged down with TVs or radio or Hulu or Netflix. One of the best books I've ever read, and to this day, I love talking about, it's Outwitting the Devil. And one of the things that the devil does is they give us distractions. They allow us to have shiny object syndrome, where we have a lack of focus. And in the book that Napoleon Hill wrote, this basically says those that are the most focused, the ones that have blinders onto the distractions, that are active, they don't let themselves drift, they're the ones that have the most amount of success in life. If you want success, hey, you be focused. Bond's a double O. He is not Q. He is not M. He's not Moneypenny. All right. He is Bond, and he's focused on that one aspect. Sometimes a blunt instrument, but he goes out and he knows his thing. You also have to avoid negative people. There is a lot of negative people out there that are going through bad things, that just want to see the world burn. Okay. And sometimes those are our closest friends, our family members, things like that, people that we network with. I don't know. There's a student of ours out there who's had some success, but unfortunately, he is just a negative Nancy, and he's been negative for years about things. And it finally dawned, his wife is leaving him. He's getting a divorce. And I'm checking in with him, and it's just negative. How are you? Oh, horrible today. Just the world sucks. And I'm like, no, you've been like this for a while. Maybe instead of pointing fingers, you should realize every time you point a finger, you've got 4 pointing back, right? My mom used to say that all the time. You have to take some accountability that sometimes, hey, if you have a negative mindset, a negative attitude about life, a negative focus on things, everything you do will be negative. Nothing will work for you because you will repel people away from you. Okay, you could be the most good-looking person out there, but if you have a negative attitude, negative life, it will drive people away from you faster than if you're an ugly person. Okay, you have to realize, ladies and gentlemen, the one thing you control every day is your mind, and that's why it's important to feed yourself with things and have people around you to help feed you that positive energy. They always say you're the average of the 5 people that you surround yourself the most, and not just in financially, but mentally, thought-wise, fitness-wise. It's an average of the 5 people you hang around the most. Who are the 5 you're hanging around with? If you've got negative people around you, I'm willing to bet, and this is not saying stop being friends, stop talking to them. Heck, some of those may be laying in the bed next to you. All right. May share the same name, same blood, whatever it might be. Hey, you may just need to say, listen, I need your support for a while. Or you may just need to free yourself from that negativity for a little while and move on. Okay. But those are 4 things that are the biggest killers out there. We're not talking about deal flow or anything like that. If you're waiting to do something, you have a lot of distractions. You can't focus on one thing. And then you have a negative mindset, surround yourself with negative people. Okay. And you got to get out of that negative aspect of things. All right. Now, we all know that Bond is just a freaking badass. And I think Daniel Craig really portrays Bond. Many people were against it, but I think he did a really good job coming through and being just a badass Bond, right? And you got to realize, hey, he's got all the tools, all the training, all the opportunities out there to make a badass. They were there for him. He took advantage of that. You have the same opportunities to you as well. Now, you may not be wanting to show up and shooting off ARs or Walter PPKs or throwing grenades or flying drone hits or stuff, or jumping out of planes or stuff like that. But you can still be a badass. You just have to make the most of your time and opportunities. If you're working full time and you've only got 10 hours a week, hey, make the most of those 10 hours a week. If you only got 5 hours a week, make the most of that 5 hours. If you got 30 minutes a day, make the most of those opportunities. Make the most of the things that are coming out around for you. The good Lord helps those that help themselves. And one of the things that I love about the Bond movies is, I'm a big believer Bond had a positive mental attitude. He got through a lot of negative things. There were times he was down, being shot at and going through being divorced and other things like that, almost dying. And then, of course, what happens in this movie. But he still made the most of his time and opportunities. He showed up. You can be the best that you want to be at whatever your goals, and you can accomplish whatever you set your mind to it. You just have to show up. That's half the game. You have to implement and take advantage of what opportunities. Look, we're in an opportunity right now, ladies and gentlemen, that hasn't been around for 8, 9, 10 years. All right. You have an opportunity to do some amazing things and be a real badass to yourself and to your future self by showing up and taking names. All right. Showing up and putting the work in on a day in, day out basis, get back into it. And I know it's scary out there. You know, you have to take action. One of those ways is taking action is to start looking at deals, starting to make offers, starting to send out letters, or connecting with people on LinkedIn, or talking to asset manager. You have to take action a lot of times and know, you know what, you're going to suck at it. You're going to really suck at it initially, but that's okay. You're going to get better. You're going to get better at it. You're going to get more focused in on your target. You're going to be set. The narrower and more focused you can get, the more elite you're going to be, the more lethal Note Assasin you will be. But the most important thing is you got to have a target to go after. You got to identify and set your goals and your key performance indicators, your KPIs. One of the things that we did the most recent workshop is we really spent a big chunk of time on day one going through KPIs. Say, how much did you want to make in a year? Let's break that down by the number of deals that you need to close on in the next 12 or 24 months to hit those numbers. And let's take it even a step further. How many offers do you need to make? How many phone calls do you need to make? How many emails do you need to send out to find those kind of things? KPIs. If you don't know what a KPI is or what your focus is, and not working daily to achieve those KPIs, you're struggling. Okay. And sometimes I get it. It's great to have numbers. It's great to have goals on the wall, but don't let that stop you from taking action. Sometimes it's better to fire, ready, aim instead of ready, aim, fire. You know, Bond is known for taking shots for fire, shooting first and asking questions later, as the theme in many of the movies there. You know, sometimes you got to take the action, pull the trigger, make an offering, and figure it out as you go. It's just one of the most important things. If you're always, like I said, trying to make sure everything's perfect or in place, or, oh, I got to have this set up perfectly, and I got to have my computer set up, and I got to have my font and my email, just in my profile, it's all got to be perfect before I do anything, then go do something else. You're wasting time and losing opportunities and wasting time on what's going on in the market right now to make things right. Because ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, who knows how long this is going to last? Who knows what's going to happen out there? One day you may find yourself sitting there looking into the distance, looking at the sunset and figuring out, hey, are you happy with where you're at? If you're not happy with where you're at, then you need to do something different. You know, they say insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results. We all have enough time in the day to invest. We all have enough time to get stuff done. It's just a matter of what you're doing. Are you sleeping in late? Are you staying up later? Are you spending way too much time watching TV? Do you need, instead of working out 4 hours a day, you need to work out 3 hours and put an hour into your business? Do you need to maybe cut back on going out and networking and having liquid lunches and realize I need to go back to the office, make some phone calls or send some emails out? You got to do something different. If you're not where you're at, where you want to be, you got to do something different. You got to show up and work. And there are days you're not going to feel like doing anything. Trust me, been there, done that. You know, I've been in funks. You know, it's one of my greatest mentors that I had a chance to talk with, Mark Victor Hansen. And he had a tape series out years ago when I was going through my divorce. I listened to the tapes over and over. It was turned my car into a learning thing. When I would drive or I was going to work and coming home from that, I just put that in and listen to it, wore it out. And I got a chance to interview him and meet him last year and hang and talk to him several times. Got him on my phone. And I told him about that. He was Scott. I was going through one of my worst times when I record that series. I was going through one of my worst times as an entrepreneur, as a publisher, and things were just not going well. And so I sat down and I just poured myself into that. If you're not feeling good, that's okay. If you're not doing good, that's okay. Realize you're not alone. It's more important than ever. Pick up the phone and talk to somebody. Hey, what do I need to get out of this? What do I need to do something differently? I've had those conversations with people out there like, hey, Scott, I really don't feel like doing anything. When I get finished working for the day, I just want to go outside. I just want to spend with my kids. That's great. There's nothing wrong with spending time with your family, going outside and recharge. We all need some vitamin D. But if you're not accomplishing the things that you want to accomplish, if that's not paying the bills or helping you get where you ultimately want to be, hey, then you need to Go outside, smell the fresh air, and get your ass back inside and get some work done. Because it's all about doing something different to find different results for you. Because I guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen, the small sacrifices that you'll make today, tomorrow, and then short term will pay exponential returns in the future. You can be happy. You can achieve success. And success is in your own terms. Maybe it's buying one note once a year. That's fun. Maybe it's buying one a month. Maybe you have bigger terms of success. That's all up to you. There's nothing wrong with whatever your goals are. You just have to start doing something different to reach those types of goals. And it will pay off exponentially, because what you go through and what you're learning and what you're taking actions in these days, those build muscles, those build skills in the long run. So you have a 20-year track record, a 20-year history of making things happen. And if you're brand new, it's okay to be brand new. You got to start somewhere. You've got to be that, in the first one, hey, you're not a double O until you've got 2 confirmed kills. That doesn't mean go out and kill anybody, but go close some deals. You'll get a lot of confidence in your first 2-3 deals and be ready to rock and roll and make some things happen. And here's the thing too. If you're not showing up and not doing these things, you really have to ask yourself a tough question. Isn't your why worth it? Why are you trying to do the different things you're doing? Why do you want to accomplish that? If that's not worth it enough, it's not a strong enough why. Think about that. Why do you want to do the things that you want to do? Because of this. I want to see my wife smile. I want to see my husband smile. I want to be able to put my kids through school. I want to retire my spouse. We want to live in a bigger house. We want to be able to pay our mortgage on time. We want to actually not have to work for a boss that only gives us a 1% or a 4% raise. And in 20 years of working there, I've only got a 4% once. That speaks volumes. I've got another student who works full-time, very passionate about the note business, but he doesn't take action. He talks, but he never takes action. He's not making offers. He's still working in a job that he doesn't like. His wife is still working for the state, and he's got kids in school. And I'm like, if you put all this work into your note business, you wouldn't have to worry about, I got to have so many clients this week. I got to have so many clients next week, because you would be the number one client you would have would be yourself and your business and your goals. And he's got his family supporting him. He's got all the tools in the world. He just lacks that confidence up in between the 4 inches between his. I think it's 5 inches. He's got a big head. But what I'm saying is that you have to start taking the actions and doing something different. And yes, we're not telling you it's gonna be difficult for 12 months, 24 months. Look, there may be a short learning curve there, 3, 6 months, whatever it might be, to get back on track. Now, if you want to speed that up, hey, get a mentor, get training, learn from somebody who's closed deals. That will help speed up the success of your business, success of your why, success of your actions. So you're off and running and really making a lot of things happen short term versus long term for you. Now, we also, one of the things that we do at our classes is we have a 10-point kind of, hey, here's the 10 to 15 things you need to do. And we've kind of recalibrated that for the No Time to Invest or No Time to Die kind of series. And here's the 10 things that you need to really focus on to get rocking. Some of you guys are doing this. Some of you guys are great. You're off rock and rolling, kicking ass and taking names. Some of you guys, I'm going to take some time off and not get back in, or you've lost your mojo. You've lost your killer instincts. We all go through that. Oh my gosh. We all go through getting kicked in the teeth, and you may not take a knotted ball to your private parts in like Bond has done or been, tortured. But sometimes we torture ourselves, and it's our worst, our worst critic. And you have to, sometimes you got to celebrate the good. You got to be a little bit lighter on yourself. You got to be a little bit, hey, let's celebrate some good things and make things happen. And I, first of all, want to thank all of you for being on here tonight, because this is a win. This is a victory to have you guys here tonight. If there was one person on here tonight, it would be a victory. All right. I did not feel good this weekend. I had plans to do some stuff this weekend. Get stuff done. I didn't really move. I slept most of Saturday and Sunday, and I just was dragging ass. Okay. I don't think it's COVID at all. I just think it's just like, I always hit kind of a bump this time of the year, being so go. It's time to kind of take it back a little bit and figure out where things are going, especially as we start planning for the next year. And I'm so excited about the fourth quarter, just figuring out exactly where I want to go. But here's the thing. Number one, get a mentor. I would love to help you guys out. If you need a mentor, hey, great. Love to talk with you about our one-on-one coaching. Hey, if that doesn't work, hey, many of you maybe just need to sign up for the WCN crew membership at $97 a month because money's tight. Get a mentor. Get somebody that you can talk to on a regular basis who wants you to succeed, who's here to help you succeed. I got enough business on my own that we're walking out and working through and stuff like that. But I'm always glad to help you guys. I'm not going to steal a deal. I had an investor, a student of mine. Hey, I got somebody that wants to take your class. I'm like, that's great. Person goes to take my class, and suddenly I start getting instant messages from this person, this investor. Hey, I'd like to invest with you. I'm like, wait a second. Didn't you come from such and such? Yeah. I said, well, I appreciate it, but I want you, either you're investing with yourself or you need to take your money back and invest with such and such. Well, I want to invest with you. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to steal an investor from one of my students. I'm not going to steal a deal from my student. That's stupid. No, you need to go back. If that's not it, then you need to learn how to do it yourself. But I think you'll be better off by going back and having two people working with you versus just one. Here's another thing you have to realize. Good deals find money. That's the number one thing. Good deals find money. If you're so worried about raising capital first and foremost before making offers, that's a problem. Good deals find money. All right. 3, build and utilize your team. And by your team, that's your vendors, that's your fellow investors, that's your meetup group, that's your Facebook groups at the Note Nation, that's your VAs or your virtual assistant company. Build a team to help you get further. Maybe you need to hire a personal assistant to do all the things you're not getting done. That would be the number one hire. Get somebody that can help you out with the bullshit that you don't need to do. And here's the thing. If you're working full-time and you get sidetracked, stuff like that, here's the thing. Spend an hour a day in your business. If you have no time, and we all know there's time, okay, spend 1 hour a day. I don't care if you're working 80 hours a week. If you're on planes, guess what? Spend an hour on the plane. Spend an hour in the hotel room. Spend an hour after your kids and your spouses have gone to bed to work on your business. Hey, honey, I'm going to work on one thing for an hour. I got to get this done because I didn't get it done first. This is something I'm investing for my future. I got to send out some letters to these IRA investors. I need to raise some capital to make some things happen. I got to make some offers. I just got to tape in. Just give me an hour. Spend an hour a day. That's 5 to 7 hours a week. You can do that on marketing. There's plenty of things that you can do with that hour in exponential. And know your numbers. Number 5, know your KPIs, your key performance indicators. What do you want to achieve? How many deals do you need to close? And how many offers do you need to get there? And how many offers do you need to make each week to get to where you need to be? And not to get those offers, how many bankers do I need to reach out to? How many people do I need to market on the front end to on LinkedIn or meet in person or talk to achieve my number one goal? And that's important. You got to know your numbers. Spend an hour a day. If you don't have time for anything else, spend an hour a day. And maybe it's just going networking, going to a read club at me, or going during lunch break and doing something. But those are the first 5. Now, number 6, you have to dress the part. We all know that Bond is a very spiffy dresser. Okay. Whether he's wearing a skull costume, all right, on the Day of the Dead in Mexico, or he's in the best suit, or wearing a fancy Omega watch or the sunglasses, he's always dressed to a T. Always that, oh, let me make sure and fix my tie so it's looking good. And I was cracking about that and watching Die Another Day yesterday with Pierce Brosnan. He's going underwater in that mini sub, and he's like, whoop, make sure my tie is fixed. Dress the part. Now, I'm not telling you go out and buy expensive soup. I'm talking dress the part for your business. Get you a logo. You need a website. You got to start putting your logo on your social media. Dress the part. Let people start seeing you in a new eye. Many of us are wearing T-shirts or ratty ass clothing and not dressing the part. And I mean ratty ass clothing. We're trying to do as much as we can with the bare minimum. Now I get that, hey, budget may be tight on things and you got to do it next week or next month when you get paid. That's totally fine. But dress the part. There's so many things that you can do. Very cheap. Fiverr.com. Lynda.com. There's a whole lot of great places out there that you can outsource a lot of the heavy lifting at a fraction of cost, to get things done. A logo, a website, get it done. You got to dress the part more so. You got to dress the part, look the part, and get rock and rolling. Otherwise, if you look like you're half-assed, you got a crappy-ass website, you've got a video of you where you look like you're from Deliverance and not the good kind. All right. Steph, you liked that one, didn't you? If you look like the villain versus somebody who knows what they're talking about. Dress the part. Dress the part. Because if you're not dressing the part, nobody's going to deal with it, and you're going to get frustrated because you're trying to step over $1 to save a nickel. Okay. And 7, be flexible. When we're buying notes in real estate, not every deal goes the same way it's supposed to do. You got to be flexible. I've seen investors screw up their thing because they bought a note. They found there was a $4,000 tax and they didn't look at it to begin with. And they just got, oh, this is not going to work. I'm like, well, yes, it didn't work for your strategy A, but it worked for strategy B or C or D. Oh, I don't want those. Well, A is not going to work. So you have to go B, C, or D. That's what I like about the note business. There's different ways to make things work. You can be flexible. If you're confronted and smacked in the face with just one strategy, and that's all that you focus on, when things change, the markets change, you will be hurting. I used to buy a lot of stuff in Florida. When the market started to change, I evolved and was flexible. Like, I'm going to go to Ohio or Indiana and Michigan. If I was just focused on Texas, like I was years ago when I first moved here, prior to 2008, I wouldn't have bought anything. I've seen, maybe a dozen assets here in Austin, Texas. This is all I focused on. I'd have gone out of business and bankrupt for a long time. So you got to be flexible in your markets, flexible a little bit on your strategies, and realize, there's ways to make multiple ways to make lemonade out of lemons. Okay. Make a decision. Number 8, we talked about procrastination can be killer. Make a decision, or a decision will be made for you. You choosing not to make a decision, you choosing not submitting a bid or talking with your servicing company, or just, I'll put it off. Somebody will make a decision for you. Always, and it's usually not going to be one that you like. So when you have the opportunity, make a decision. Don't procrastinate it. I've seen investors who waited years to start foreclosure process. Well, let's just wait. Let's think about it. The time for thinking, the borrower's already told you what they are or aren't going to do. So unless you're going to go offer them cash or keys or deed in lieu, they're just going to keep screwing you each month and living there for free. And you got your investors you're paying, you have other service costs. Make a decision. And sometimes, hey, this is business. This is not personal. Okay. I've always seen that number 9 is one of the most important things. Those that do what others won't will always have greater results. People try to do the bare minimum, and they have the bare minimum results. If you go above and beyond, you're doing what others won't do, whether it's identifying a market that you know really, really well and seeing a lot of opportunity in that market or that state or that type of asset class, you spending the time to dive into that, it adds value. This is what we talk about, how many people are calling bankers or how many people are calling asset managers, and it's what most people won't do. And that's why we've had sustained success over 15 years now. It's because we do the things that most people won't do. We do Monday night, Note Night in America for 10 years. People like, Scott, how do you get people to show up? We show up every Monday night for people. There's times we cancel. There's the holidays, we get it. But we consistently show up and we do what others out there aren't going to do. Okay? You have the same opportunity to do what others won't do. That's why success comes to the minority, because it's the minority that's doing things that others won't do. They'll make that extra call back. They'll send another email blast. They'll connect with people on LinkedIn, or, anytime I've ever done something that other else does, I always saw results because it was surprising. And people are like, oh, that's something new. I like that. If he or she stands out from the crowd, I want to do what he's doing. And you have the same opportunity to stand out, not only in your local market, in your family, or even nationally today with the way the market is, the way media is. You have the opportunity to stand out by doing what others won't do. Okay. And number 10, be accountable. Be accountable for yourself. Be accountable to your family. Be accountable to your why. Be accountable to your family. If something goes wrong, hey, it's better to, let's say, the buck stops here. Don't blame somebody else. Don't blame your divorce. Don't blame your dog dying, but be accountable. Hey, I've screwed up, or this I didn't see, or hey, let's get this done. There's been something that's happened. I don't know exactly how we're going to get out of this, but we're going to figure this out. I'm going to get an answer for you. And that's one of the most important things. Look, I'm accountable. I screw up all the time. I've screwed up majorly in the past. Like, look, this is what I can do. Here's what I can. And people just want to see a plan B or plan C. That's what it comes down to more than anything. But be accountable to yourself. Be accountable to your tribe. Be accountable to your family. Be accountable to your KPIs, your accountability partners as well. So I say it's one of the most important things you can do. So those are really the 10 things, guys, that we believe really will set you apart out there. You can be the Note Assassin of assassins. You can be the Bond of bonds. you can be the investor of investors. Whatever that success number is, you can do that. You just have to take the action and do the things that you need to do. And if you're interested, we do have our monthly WCN membership. It's $97 a month. If you go to noteumbrella.com, we'll help hold you accountable. We'll help give you the tools. We'll help hold your hands, give you the safety net, help mentor you to get things rock and rolling. If you're a WCN crew member, you get access to all of our online training, past trainings, replays, all our live online virtual trainings. Does not include our one-on-one coaching, but guess what? You get a monthly call with me. We can sit down on the phone, going through what you're working on, going through your executive summit, going through your websites. Not enough people take advantage of that ability to have a call with me each month to help guide them on their path to success. Look, I don't mind being your M, okay? I don't mind helping you, hold you accountable, and keep trying to keep you focused and helping you find success in the business out there. So any questions, any comments, any concerns from anybody out there tonight? If you're interested in it, go to noteumbrella.com. It'll take you directly to the website for that. You can get signed up for that, and you'll be added to the Base Camp group, and we'll schedule a call with you. But I want to thank each and everybody out there. I have a short survey here. I forgot to share this poll, and I wanted to launch it. I forgot to ask us to do this in the very beginning. I got so excited about the Bond music and everything going on. I wanted to find out who's your favorite Bond. And if you'll take a few minutes, second or two, to share who your favorite Bond is, I'd love to know that, okay? Daryl, love that. Any questions, any comments, any concerns? I'm here to help answer for you guys. Sean Connery, yeah. Daniel Craig, people like that, okay? Sean, type it in the chat. Don't type it in the chat, share with me. It's coming down. You know, I'm a big fan of Pierce Brosnan. I think Sean Connery, for me, is the man, the myth. He's the Bond, the most Bond movies. And if you think about it, they talk about Never Say Never Again, which is an unofficial Bond movie because they didn't use it through the Fleming production company. But there's talk about The Rock. Welcome to The Rock, as being an official Bond movie based on the British Secret Service. They actually had this whole theory about it. I heard it on a radio show yesterday. I was like, oh, there's another Bond. That's why I like maybe The Rock so much. But got a Roger Moore fan out there. Roger Moore, I think, was probably the funniest Bond. Definitely comic relief on there. Pierce Brosnan, I think, is just, exudes the Bond, the British Secret Service guy, although he did get knocked out pretty easy. To say Bond was one of the easily knocked out people. If you get him with a waft of a hand going by, he would knock himself out in a lot of cases early on. But great stuff there. Thank you guys for sharing that. I appreciate there. But once again, everybody, hey, if you're struggling, you need help, feel free, reach out. Don't be alone. Don't be by yourself. Don't don't curl up in the corner and be scared of the big bad wolf out there. Take the time, call me, schedule some time. If you're watching this for the first time, if you are joining us, you'll get a replay sent to you tomorrow, or you can always go to weclosenotes.tv to download the replay on our YouTube channel. But once again, everybody, thank you so much for coming on tonight, hanging out. Hopefully it was valuable for you. Take the opportunity. If you want to ask some questions about what's all involved with our WCN crew, feel free. Go to talkwithscottcarson.com or scott@weclosenotes.com. I'm glad to schedule a phone call with you to share with you what's so great about it. It's really designed to help you take advantage and save a lot of money as you budget your note education and training throughout the year at $97 a month versus peaks backs. It actually saves you about 66% of what the normal coaching costs would cost throughout the year. So go to talkwithscottcarson.com. Talkwithscottcarson.com, Joanna, like you've done before. Just schedule that with me call. Okay. Talkwithscottcarson.com. You just pick a time and go on there and schedule it every month there for you. All right. Thank you guys so much for being on here. Hope you enjoyed it. Hey, don't sit around. You all have, don't tell me you have no time to invest. You have no time not to invest. Now is the time. Take advantage of what the market's throwing at you, the opportunities. Everybody, Laura says, always a shot in the arm, Scott. Thank you. You're welcome, Laura. Get rocking and rolling. Thanks for being on here tonight, everybody. Be safe, and we'll see you all at the top, everybody. Bye.